Jamo, how do you stay emotionally invested when the goals change at the end of the season?
Just because I love the game and I'm getting another chance to play the game. Not making the playoffs, yeah, that hurt, but you gotta keep looking at the bigger picture. We just gotta get ready, get our mind together for next year.
Played on some good college teams. You've had success since you got here. What did this season kind of teach you about facing adversity from a team standpoint and getting through that?
Man, pretty much when adversity hit, you just gotta be ready, and it's always gonna be a bumpy road. Nobody ever had a flat straight road to success. It might take some ups, it might take some downs, and it just happened to us this year. It's a part of the game. Nobody's perfect, and we just gotta do our thing, better.
Do some of the negatives that you guys went through offset a lot of the positives that you had, or is it still looking at positives?
Maybe, but who knows? We're in a position where I guess it did, and we just gotta focus on those negatives and cut them down for this game and then the next season too.
I think you're right on the edge of top 10 for receiving yards. Does that mean anything to you that if you could finish in the top 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna try for sure. I'm gonna do everything I can when I get the ball this game. I'm gonna try. I got to, because that would be huge for me. Also with the target share and all of that, and I'm still able to be in the top 10 or close to it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Is this the right time of year for those personal goals to come out? I mean, is now the time for guys to be, like if you need one, let me get one?
Maybe though, for guys who got like incentives, but we look out for everybody. We make sure everybody get theirs and, make sure everybody eat. It's not just with the position we be in, it goes on from the start of the season, to the end of the season.
For the team goals, I know it's not panned out the way you wanted to, but Goff talked about the potential of you, Tesla, and St. Brown as a receiving trio earlier today. John Moore talked about it as well, said you guys could possibly have Super Bowl potential in the future. When you hear things like that, what do you think about the trio of you guys moving forward?
I think we complement each other well, and we all great football players. We all got different things that we're good at. And once it comes together, it's like it's amazing to watch and see. It's excitement, and I think what they say is all true. We got the potential to be great. We just got to keep working. Keep putting one foot in forward the next, and keep moving forward.
With all three of you guys being three different type of receivers, what type of pressure you think will put on defenses in the future?
A lot of pressure, because you got to look at a lot of type of players. You got speed. You got big body, we could do everything, just us three could do everything. And that's not to mention when you add on our running backs and our tight ends, so I know it's very hard, stressful for a defensive coordinator, planning to play against us.
How does that different skill set change that equation versus, maybe if there were some redundancies within your skill sets or something like that? Like, how does that make things more difficult by being able to all do something a little bit different?
Difficult for who?
For the defense.
They gotta just be more aware of what's coming. They never could guess what's coming, or because we got so much to throw at them at one time, they can't lock in on one person. You can spread it around well, and get the ball in different people's hands because we got so many playmakers and excellent playmakers, and that's probably it.
I know season's not over yet, and as a team you didn't accomplish what you wanted to, but is there anything you particularly accomplished this year that you're proud of?
I really can't even tell you. I was looking forward to making the playoffs. I really don't do the personal goal thing. I guess I touched 1,000 yards. I did better than last year. My goal is just keep consistency going, and keep getting better every day, every year. With my job and what I do.
You are a competitive person. How did it sit with you this year, not being able to stack wins and then now kind of going through a little bit of a losing streak? How does it sit with you?
It's hard, to process, because we got great players and great coaching staff, and we do the right things. But it's just a part of the game, like I said earlier. We can't harp on it. It is what it is, and we just got to come back on and go harder next year.
Does overall disappointment diminish the areas of growth on this team?
I don't think so. I feel like there's always stuff to take away from each season, good and bad. I feel like, we did do good stuff, good things this year. Obviously, we got one more left to go and put some good stuff, out there on tape. But for us, man, it's like every year is different, obviously. Things happen, things change. But like you said, to answer your question, I mean, there's a bunch of good things to take away from this year and just to build off of going into next year.
How are you feeling health-wise?
I feel solid. I would say a little banged up, but good enough to go. So that's all that really matters.
Why is it important for you to play? I mean, this game, for the records, doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
But
for me, it's like I told you guys earlier, just being out there for the guys, for my teammates. We're blessed to be in the position that we are, to play a sport that we love, to get paid to do what we do, and to go out there every Sunday and play. And so, I love this game. I want to be out there every game if I can. So, like I said, whether we're undefeated or haven't won a game, my goal is to be out there every Sunday or Monday, whatever day we play. And this is just another one for us to go out there and, for me to go out there and play and hopefully, get a W.
Medically, is there any danger in making it worse, making it a longer-term injury?
I don't think so. Obviously, there's risk in any game you play with any injury, but to answer your question, yeah, I don't think so.
I know you keep tabs on, things going on around the league. I mean, what's your impression of seeing what the Bears have been able to do as far as implementing basically your formula, the Lions formula, with the ball dominant formula, with the rushing attack being like third in the NFL, and then also the takeaways being number one? It seems like you've been able to kind of recreate what you guys did to get become successful.
They're a completely different team than we are. They've been playing good. Defense is getting a lot of turnovers. I think that's what really stands out. I think they lead the league in turnovers. So they get the ball, they get the ball back to their offense, which is huge. I think if you lead their turnover margin in this league, your odds of winning games go way up. So, they've done a great job of that on defense. And then offensively, I feel like they've gotten a lot better from when we first played them. That's a credit to them, credit to, the players, the coaches, just everyone over there. So, they've been, I feel like they've gotten better each and every week. So definitely going into this week, much different opponent, I feel like, than we played week 2.
Where do you think things went wrong for you guys this year, and what do you think you guys need to do this offseason to, get back to 12, 13, wins, that type of team?
That's a good question. I wish I had all the answers right now. But I think for us, man, like, a lot of us are still going to be here. The nucleus of this team will still be here. And I think that's important, just, going into next year, knowing the guys that you have here, knowing, you're familiar with, the players. I think the coaches are familiar with the players. So I feel confident with the guys that we have. I know we have a bunch of, guys that can make plays. And going into next year, man, I think we'll just be that much more hungry. I think starting even like off-season workouts, going into camp to start the season. So I think guys will be hungry because I don't think any of us want to have a season like we did this year, next year. So I think that's the biggest thing, just making sure we don't, repeat the same things.
Zane, I think Dan said that after the NFC Championship loss, you text him at like 4 a.m. and things like that. With this season kind of being up and down, not being able to stack wins, and this losing streak, I know you talked about it a little bit, but how is it sitting with you now, a couple days after being officially eliminated?
It sucks, man. I was telling one of our other teammates, I feel like I haven't played, you can say a meaningless game. It's not meaningless, but a game that, doesn't really have any playoff implications. I haven't played a game like this in a while since I've been here. So I'm not used to it. It does suck. I don't think any of us wanted to be in this position. But, we put ourselves into this. We can't blame no one else but ourselves. And so, for us, it's like, this is just another game for us to go out there and play. But yeah, playing football like this at the end of the year sucks. None of us want to be doing it, and we want to get back to our winning ways and ways that we've done things here, in the past few years. So I think we'll get back to that. We just gotta finish this season strong, finish on a high note. I think that's the most important thing.
Is it hard to stay emotionally invested with it not counting or not being the playoff type thing?
I think not really. I feel like the guys that we have here, with the coaches, everyone, combined together. I feel like our locker room is pretty tight. I feel like, we get along with each other really well. we play for one another. I think that's the biggest thing. If you're going to go out there, it's 11 men on the field at once. You're not just out there for yourself. You're out there for your teammate, for your brother, whatever it may be. And so, you're not just playing for yourself. You're playing for the guy next to you. I think that's the biggest thing is we don't want to let our teammates down. So when we're out there, and we're full go and trying to win every play, every game, whatever it may be. So that's our mentality.
You mentioned finishing on a high note. Do you feel like that's something that can transfer into 2026? Saying you beat the division champ in their home turf, Week 18.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't know how much that really matters going into a brand new season. Obviously, you just want to finish on a high note because of what happened recently with the loss that we've had. We just want to feel good going into the new year. Whether that has any implications on next year, I doubt it. Every year is a new year, but as a team, we want to be able to no matter who it was, whether it was the Bears, didn't matter who the opponent was. Just this last week, we want to go in there and put our brand of football out there, the way we play, the way we block, the way we finish, everything. The way we play. We want to put that back out there and feel good about ourselves heading into the offseason.